Hi guys, welcome back to the Spiral, week 28 spiral corrections. Make sure you are making full corrections for all of the problems that you missed. Monday, a race car driver is trying to decrease his lap times by at least 8%. Select whether the driver reached that goal for each description of a lap. So my hint for this is a percent of change problem. So remember, for percent of change, first you find the amount of change, you put it over the original amount, divide, you'll get a decimal, and you want to change that to a percent. So your criteria is if it is at least 8%, so 8% or more, it would be a true. Less than 8% would be a false. First one, the original time was 2.5 minutes and the new time is 2 minutes. True or false? Second one, the original time was 4 minutes and the new time is 3 minutes. True or false? Third one, the original time was 5.25 minutes and the new time is 5 minutes. True or false? Last one, the original time was 3 minutes and the new time is 3.15 minutes. True or false? Okay, so the answers are true, true, false, false. Like I said, percent of change problem. So what I did is I found the amount of change, like how much it increased or decreased. And then as long as it was 8% or more, then it would be a true. So the first two, 20%, 25%, that's a yes. When I did the third one, though, the amount of change was only 4.8%. That's a no. The last one, it said the original time was 3 minutes and the new time is 3.15. So I automatically didn't even have to do anything there. It's an increase, so that's a no. Tuesday, Eric took out $85,000 in student loans with a simple interest rate of 7.5%. He takes 10 years to repay the loans. How much will Eric pay in all? Explain how you solve the problem. So we're not just finding the interest he's paying, but we want to know how much he paid in all. So choose the option that says his total with interest included. So I started over here with my formula, interest equals principal times rate times time. Remember, you can say to remember this, I'm pretty. If you don't like to tell yourself you're pretty, you could say I party. And then some of you were saying that it stands for I pretty much ruin things. But anyways, $85,000 times 7.5% as a decimal times 10 years comes out to $63,750 in interest. But one more step, we want to find the total paying back. So he has to pay back his principal and then also the interest. So it comes out to $148,750. Wednesday, in the figure below, angle OLN and angle PLR are vertical angles. So here's OLN, and then here is PLR. So what you're going to do is choose the option that shows you selecting values to complete the equation to find the measure of MLO. So let me just highlight where MLO is. MLO. So we want to know this angle right there. Second part, what is the actual measure of angle MLO? Okay, so the two angles, since they are vertical angles, that means that they're congruent. So I set up an equation where if I add 60 and x, it's going to equal to 102. I isolated the variable by subtracting 60 on each side, which means the value of x, or that angle, is 42 degrees. Thursday, a straight railroad track crosses two parallel streets and forms the non-perpendicular angles shown in the diagram. Select whether each statement is true or false. Statement 1, angles 1 and 3 are complementary angles. True or false? Second one, when measure of angle 8 equals 105 degrees, measure of angle 2 equals 75 degrees. True or false? Third statement, the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 8. Fourth statement, the sum of the measures of angle 5, 6, and 7 is 270 degrees. True or false? Last statement, the sum of the measures of all 8 angles is 720 degrees. True or false? All right, so first statement is false, because if you look at angle 1 and angle 3, they are not complementary. It's a straight angle divided into 2, so they're supplementary. Second one, when the measure of angle 8 is 105, so that's right over here, then the measure of angle 2 is 75 degrees. That is true. When you subtract 180 minus 105, you get 75. Third one, angle 1 and angle 8, it's true because they're alternate exterior angles, which means they're congruent. The sum of the measures of angle 5, 6, and 7 is 270. So when I look over here at 5 and 7, I'm trying to get another color. So here's 5 and 7. They're supplementary. So that means they're 180. And then angle 7 is 75, or I'm sorry, 5, 6. Angle 6 would have to be 75, so that only equals 265. And then the last one, the sum of the measures of all 8 angles is 720 degrees. If you look, if there's 2 supplementary relationships, that means that each set of 4 angles is 360. 360 plus 360 is 720. Here's a picture of PJ watching me as I make this video. We are halfway through. Turn the page to the geometry review. Again, make full corrections, including work. Number 1, what is the value of x in the figure below? My hint is that these are vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are congruent. Since vertical angles are congruent, I made an equation that set 12x minus 3 equals 105 equal to each other. And then I solved by first adding 3 to both sides and then dividing by 12. And I got the value of x is 9. Number 2, Mike installed the window shown. How many square feet is the window? Round to the nearest tenth, use 3.14 for pi. So my hint on this one is this is a composite figure. It's made up of a rectangle and half of a circle. So you're going to want to find the area of both and combine them. So first, over here I found the area of the rectangle. Length times width is 1.5 times 2, which gives you 3 feet, 3.0 feet. And then the circle is a semicircle, so half of a circle in its area. So I wrote my formula as pi times the radius squared divided by 2. I went ahead and substituted my values. And notice how I didn't put 1.5 squared here, because then that's the diameter. I had to cut it in half up here, and that's why I got 0.75. Squared it, got this, multiplied by 3.14. And then divided by 2, and so that's my result. But then you want to add them all together, and so 3 plus 0.88 is 3.88, but the direction said round to the nearest tenth, so it rounds to 3.9. Number 3, a triangle is cut from a rectangle. Find the area of the shaded region. So you just want to find the area of the shaded region without the triangle. So first I found the area of the whole rectangle, length times width, 66 square feet. Then I found separately the area of the triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. So 4 times 6 divided by 2, which is 24. 4 times 6 is 24 divided by 2 is 12 feet squared. So we want to find it without the triangle, just the shaded region. So that's why I subtracted and ended with 54 square feet. Number 4, find the height of a parallelogram with an area of 104 square yards and a base of 8 yards. So notice we want to find just the height. We know the area and we know the base. So use the formula, substitute your values. So parallelogram area is base times height. And so I substituted 104 for the area, and it's 8 times the height because it's base times height. To solve this equation, I divided by the coefficient of 8 on both sides and got that the height is 13 yards. Number 5, in the figure shown, the sum of the measures of angle YXZ, so here's YXZ, and angle WXV is 75 degrees. So those two add up to 75. So we want to know the measure of ZWX, which is ZWX. My hint is look at the figure. It's a straight line, that straight angle, and use that information. All right, so with these 3 angles, it's a supplementary relationship. They're going to add up to 180. So it already tells you that this angle and this angle are 75. So if I just did 180 degrees minus 75 degrees minus those 2, I end up with that angle that we're looking for is 105 degrees. Number 6, a toy company makes rectangular sandboxes that measure 6 feet by 5 feet by 1.2 feet. A customer buys a sandbox and 40 cubic feet of sand. The question is, did the customer buy too much or too little sand? So you're going to choose either too much sand, too little sand for your first option. Your second option that you're going to choose is the correct explanation for your answer. So too much because, or not enough because. Okay, so first thing I had to do is I had to find the volume of the sandbox by using volume of a rectangular prism, length times width times height, and I came up with 36 square feet. So the customer bought too much sand. They bought 40, which is more than 36. So the box can only hold 36 cubic feet. Congratulations, you have completed your week 28 spiral. Make sure you turn your corrections into your teacher, and I will see you guys same place, same time next week. Have a good weekend.